Hey there, everybody. Shel Brodnax here with another episode of Stage Your Talk. And we are talking today with the amazing Kristyn Pereira. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm super great. I'm so excited just to talk to you and tell everybody about your story because we don't know each other well. We've probably had, in reality, I don't know, less than 10 conversations since I've probably known you. But I know of you and I've watched you and I know your mom and your parents. And if anybody does not know Susie and Sheldon, they're good people, man. I'm telling you, really good people. We really enjoy them. But it's really, I mentioned this on stage, one of the times that you were coming up on stage because you were up there quite a bit. I really enjoy supporting and watching other women rise. There is just something about a strong woman who knows what they want and sets their goals and creates the strategy and then actually does it. It is just, it excites me to see it. When I see women like doing it, just really slaying it, I just really like to say, well done. So well done to Well Dressed Home.
Thank you.
Now we met when you had first come on to Well Dressed Home with Susie and Sheldon. And
Yeah,
it was when you'd only been on for about 6 months, I think, when we met. And now,
it was
fast
pretty early.
forward,
Yeah.
yeah, you were just barely in there. And then fast forward all these years later, tell us about the journey a little bit. What decided you, what was the decision to make you come on with Well Dressed Home?
Well, I mean, it kind of started far back. So I guess maybe 20 something years ago, we used to actually have a home decor and gift store that, I mean, I have two older sisters, but I've always been involved in the family business. So I was very involved like while I was in high school and working with them on that. And my mom has been training to be a young Martha Stewart since as long as I can remember. Um, and so when she started this, and I was studying fashion and kind of trying to figure out where I wanted to go. And I kept getting little pokes like, you should come work with us. You should come work with us. And so one day I decided just, okay, let's try it out. And so I kind of dropped everything and came and learned. And, there's a lot of transferable skills from fashion to home decor and playing with texture and scale and patterns and things like that. So it kind of came easily to me. And I've worked with my parents, most of my life I was working with my parents. So my mom just really took me under her wing and I learned everything that she did. And, she was winning award after award
She
and
was.
doing, yeah, amazing things. And so I was really lucky to be able to learn under her. And then I was like, okay, mom, I'm ready.
Yeah. So
um,
did she also have a holiday store, a seasonal store?
Yeah, so that's how it started. Actually, it really started with her doing crafts, and she used to do like craft shows, and so she used to like paint little ornaments, and then she got my dad buying like these big machines, like cutting out pieces of wood and gluing them together, and then she would paint them, and so everything used to be handmade. And then they started getting into more like wholesale stuff, and then it turned into like a boutique in the mall, or it was like a little kiosk in the mall, and then it became like a store, and then it became like an all-around store. So everything just kind of got bigger and bigger. um yeah, it was way back. I think I was like, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 when that started. So
I love that though, because everything that I'm hearing, it starts as this, it grew to this, it grew to this, and then it led to something further, whereas one chapter closes, you close that down and then you open up something new. It's really neat to be able to see people take those skill sets and cultivate something new every single time. That you just add on, it starts out maybe just staging consultations and people say, okay, now I'm going to try the occupieds, and then you do the vacants, and then you get into the color, and then you get to short-term rental, and you get into the decorating side. And
yeah.
and your website, if anybody has not looked at this website, I actually, you have so many awards and we're going to get to that, but I actually this morning I went to your website. I've not been there for a while. welldressedhome.ca. First of all, really well done. Really
Yeah.
just stellar website, but take a cruise through that, everybody, and just see this is how it's done. I gotta ask you this because I have some theories about people and price and people always trying to, renegotiate your fees. How
Mm.
often does that really happen with you guys?
Oh, it happens all the time.
Really?
I had a very stern conversation with a client yesterday who, was trying to negotiate on price. Yeah, I mean, I think it will never go away. I think with our regular clients, that's not something that we have to struggle with anymore. But
Sure.
there's always the people that call us from Google that are looking on our website and are comparing us to the people that are staging a whole house for $1,000. So that's always a thing there. It's always a struggle. It was really yesterday actually we had this a frustrating conversation, and after I told them about our value and what we bring, and then he said, well, what is the quality of your furniture? And I was like, listen, we just won top occupied stager in all of Canada and luxury vacant stager. I just came home with a whole bunch of awards. And then he was like, okay, fine.
Seal the deal with an award. I love it. So
You're gonna sign.
yeah, so here's my thing. This is what I definitely know about. I've been in this industry now for over 2 decades. And what I know when I see a website as well put together as your all's, and you've got the stats covered, you've got the why covered, you've got the how covered, you've got the value covered. I think people, they still may want to come up, a newbie coming up and negotiating on a price. But once you have that client, they're like, oh no, this is a different experience. And we talked a lot about the customer experience at RESACon, because I would imagine with your ongoing clients that you have, the shampoo, rinse, repeat ones, they're like, no, they're coming in, they're doing their thing, we're out of their way, so to speak. And I think
1,000%.
a lot of times people, when they have these clients that don't get out of their way, it's just I think a lack of, I don't know, I think for me, it's like just a total lack of respect or a lack of understanding of what the value is. And when I see professional entrepreneurs, stagers put together a really well done website that covers it all, and you're out there hustling, making these awards happen for yourself, and you're putting it all out there, you get less pushback. And when you do get pushback from the initial client, you just mention your awards and you close a deal. That is just brilliant. I love it. And it makes me so excited, the business end of staging. I know all the creative stuff everybody's talking about. Oh, let's talk about the color and the artwork and all that. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Let's talk about closing sales. That's the stuff that excites me.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I think we're in a really good position now with our clients, and we've earned their trust, and we've shown them that, we can produce, and that we're a vital part of their marketing team, and that, business wise, we're there to just get the job done and do it really well. And so for sure, like our clients now are just, whatever you think, Kristyn, I trust you. And
Yes.
that's what it is, which is amazing. So we can just do what we do best without extra hands and extra noise.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I
Yeah.
like too? You did a video on your website that was absolutely brilliant. And I love it that you showed your warehouse. Kristyn, I'm telling you, 20 years ago, 21, I've been in the industry 21 years this year. The quality of staging and the level of service and business that stagers are doing, night and day difference.
Oh
Night and day
yeah.
difference. I mean, back then, most people had a few accessories and things in their garage or an extra room in the house. And then people were like, yeah, I'm moving into a pod or a storage unit. And then it was like, boy, you're really balling if you've got 2 storage units, And now it's like, fast forward, we've got like warehouses with different rooms in them, and forklifts, and shelving that goes up to the ceiling, and building mezzanines, and just it's so the industry has completely evolved over the last 20 years. And when I looked at your website and I looked at everything, I'm like, this is it. This is where the tipping point is, where you go from, this is straight, pure professional real estate staging. It's a legitimate business. You're in it to win it, and you've got the experience and the value that you're giving to your customers.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that the biggest thing, right, is that, like we were talking about, kind of building on top of what you were doing. Like, you can't just stay comfortable. We have to keep doing more. And, there's so many things that we talked about at RESACon, and, talking about what your clients' frustrations are. So we're like, well, what more can we do? What more services can we add on to make this better? Like, how can we grow and do better and keep evolving? Because I think that's the only way that you stay at the top of the game, and that's how you keep building your businesses, by doing more and continuing to do better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if we stayed where we were when my mom started 13 years ago, I don't think we would still be here. So
You'd have
yeah.
two kiosks.
Sorry.
I said you'd have two kiosks.
Yeah.
But hey, when you're starting out, I mean, it's no small feat. Starting any business, first of all, takes a lot. It really does to even be successful in anything. So, but it is one of those things. I love seeing everybody's stepping stones. It's probably a really good title for a podcast. I'm gonna have to write that down. So let's talk about your awards, because boy, let me tell you, I was excited. I emceed the awards, as I do every year. We had a co-host this year, Daniel Kaufman, who was hilarious.
Yes.
You got 10 awards. You walked away, and I know that we have the only the winners we're able to bring up on the stage, because just we're limited for time. But we have all these awards that get shipped, physical awards get shipped to the hotel, and we put them in a room so everybody can go pick them up. And of course, everybody's got their winner awards, and you forget about everything else, and you're like, yeah. So you've got 2 winners. You won for first of all, you've got 3 top 10s in the luxury vacant, and then you won that category. You've got 2 top 10s in the occupied staging Canada, and these are all for Canada, and won that category. You got a top 10 in redesign, and then you got 3 top 10s in the vacant staging category. So the boxes were like, I mean, I have to stand up. Shauna Lynn Simon, another famous Canadian, just name drop in there, went out and got all your stuff, and somebody was filming her walking in because she's holding them. They're like over the top of her head. I don't know how it all didn't crash down around her.
In her heels, yeah, I don't know.
It was awesome. I know there's a reel out there on Instagram somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you search RESA social or RESACon 2023, or maybe even on your own RESACon or your own social, you might see it. But that was just awesome. I mean, your face when you turned around, you were like,
oh yeah, I definitely forgot about those extra awards. Yeah, a friend of mine, I was telling her, yeah, I came home with a lot of awards. I think there was like 10 or 11 of them. And he said, how did you carry all of those? It's like, I didn't.
Did you have to ship them back?
Shauna Lynn actually shipped them back for me with her things, which was wonderful. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. From now on, people are just gonna have to bring an extra suitcase to take all the food back home with them. I love it though, but I love it. This year was the first year that we allowed multiples people to enter more than once in a category, and it went really well. There's actually categories where people had entered many times in one category, and somebody entered one time, just one entry, and they won the whole category.
Right.
Competition was intense this year.
It was really intense. There was amazing submissions. Like, it was really good.
I was impressed. I know every year, it's funny, people say, why do you always change the rules? And it's like, it's not that we always change the rules, but we improve on things. So this is the 15th year of doing awards, which means we've only done this 15 times. So how many stages do you do in a month?
A lot.
You get
in a month, probably like 30.
So you do twice as many stages in a month that we've done awards in 15 years. So it takes a long time. So if we didn't change, you're talking about pivoting, we'd still have paper ballots and PDF submissions. And that was back when people didn't know how to make a PDF. And you certainly didn't know how to make anything look pretty with like photo frames. And we did all kinds of, what now you look back and you're like, that was some janky stuff you guys did in the beginning, but it was up-to-date technology at the time. So totally. Yeah, we fast forward and we pivot to all this, new technology and being able to submit these awards. And we change the rules because you get feedback. And it's so hard to judge an entry when you're looking at, like just a side-by-side of a before photo of a vacant and then the after, and the before photo is full of construction items and junk. it's
Yeah.
like, it's not even correct to even be judging that. So we eliminated that and created rules where it's got to be a pristine photo. You know, we don't want to see stuff on the countertops and things like that. And then also when we did that, we noticed, we don't know, did the staging get better or does it just appear to be better because of the contrast? I don't know what it is, but this year especially, because we did tighten up rules, no more people in photos, and no, we're not going to blur them out and all that stuff. They're really pristine.
Oh yeah. I mean, we worked hard to make sure that those pictures were pristine too. But I think also it forces us to make sure that we're documenting our work and getting those professional photos, because sometimes it's so easy when, you know, we're churning out these stages all the time to just keep going. So it's a good reminder of, we got to document this. We got to like stop for a second, make sure that we get photos of it, because it's so important when you keep going. So I think having the awards is kind of like a reminder of that for us. But
Yeah.
you know, for your website, for your marketing, it's always so good to have these. And I know a lot of stagers struggle with this, of just keep going, and the pictures that they take for MLS aren't always necessarily the best pictures of your work, right? So making sure that you have your own professional photos, I think, is so important, and to, you know, make sure they're top notch.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And documenting, I mean, I'd be doing every single property, because at the end of the year, when it comes time to submit awards, now you're going to have them all documented, because you should anyway. But if you know, take the pictures, we always recommend take a picture from each corner of the room, all the
Yeah.
different angles, different heights of your pictures as well, especially if it's going to turn into what looks like more of a lifestyle type photo.
Yeah.
And to be able to do that with the before photos as well, get all the angles. And then a lot of times people say, oh, I forgot to take the before photos. That's okay. When you destage it, take it then. You know,
Yeah.
if it's empty vacant room, take it once you've emptied everything out, then you can have a second opportunity to take your photos. And then
Yeah.
when it comes time to the awards, now you have a lot to choose from, and you can choose, you know, this was the best work, or you can choose contrasting work to show your different styles, you know, the different architecture and how that worked out for you as well. I mean, there's just so many great reasons to be able to take your photography on every single stage.
Totally, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, even just as a process point of, well, one, taking the before photos so that you can see what you're doing, and then to be able to look back. You want to document after how you left it. And then on the D stage end, like sometimes we reference those photos of how did we leave the property, if there was anything left over, you know, to have all of those photos. So we're always taking pictures 3 times, just for even our own reference. So I mean, it's always good. And it took us a long time to learn that. So
Yes, that's really good point. And the
yeah,
other thing, it's digital. So you just have digital records
yeah,
of it, and you just got space in a cloud somewhere or on a
yeah,
drive. And, you
yeah.
know, it's better than, you know, Polaroids from the 70s that you don't have to, you know, keep them and they stick together after time.
Yeah, yeah. We're all learning and growing. Yeah.
And growing. Thank God for technology, I gotta say. Sometimes technology comes on. I remember when Instagram came on and I was like, that's for teenagers. I'm not doing that. That's lame. And now it's like, oh my God, I'm loving the gram. I'm just like cruising along, and you kind
No,
of adapt to it, kicking and
yeah,
screaming.
you got to be on.
That's
I mean,
true.
I think it's a great thing for stagers and designers now, is to be able to use it kind of as a portfolio. Like I send people to our Instagram all the time,
Yes.
because we're constantly updating, and we're not updating our website as often as we're updating there. So as we have new projects, everything is always going on Instagram. So for people to say like, oh, you know, how can I see your work? I always send them to our Instagram, and you can see, you
Yeah.
know, the most recent stuff that we've been doing. So it's such a powerful tool now, and for more people to find us too, like realtors and other realtors, they're seeing that we're posting their things and reposting, and it's been really great tool for us for sure.
I love that it's interactive as well, and it's always up to date, and it shows how busy you are, you know, that you're out there and you're doing things. Again, it's a real company. It's a
And
real
even when you're not busy, you can make it look like you are for sure.
Yes, for sure, for sure. So what's on the horizon for y'all? Anything new coming up?
Um, well, we're growing our team. we're, bringing on new stagers, so that we can do more. We're doing more decorating and design than we've ever done, which is really exciting. Something I think that kind of COVID brought along, more people reaching out to us. And I think that staging has really become a little closer to decorating than it ever has been. Like, we're doing more and more and making it feel more like a home than,
More than
just
props. No longer props.
yeah. We're really taking it to the next level. And so people are asking us more and more to decorate their spaces, and then oh, well, can you design our bathroom for us? I'm like, all right, let's go. So yeah, we have a lot of that going on now as well, which is really exciting. But just kind of, as you were saying, we're taking these skills that we have and building and growing and taking on new challenges. But seeing that process is also helping us with the staging processes as well, and how we approach those and the client journey and all of that. So it all is connected and helping us grow as a whole. So yeah, that's on the horizon. Trying to add more services, implementing everything that we learned at RESACon. But I think, yeah, the biggest thing right now is we're focusing on growing our team and tightening up our processes and just being better than ever.
Yeah, I love it. Well, we are super thrilled for your success, and I congratulate you. I've enjoyed watching you grow over all these years, and much love to Sheldon and Suze, and tell them next time Shell said, should have come.
Yeah. You said that to me the first night, and I was like, oh, Mom, Shell dropped in.
I'm like, I was killing me. I'm not gonna lie. There were sometimes I am the best secret keeper. First of all, because I'm almost 55, and half the time I just don't remember. But on the other hand, it's like you just know something, and it's like, I just can't tell them, but I'm so excited on the inside for them, and so I just have to sit with the excitement. But I remember that night thinking, okay, she sends her kid out here for the very first time, and I know you're an adult, you're a grown woman, but you're still a kid. So it's like, okay, she sent her out here, so we have a sense of responsibility, make sure everybody's okay, check in, you need anything, do we need to put a tracker on your phone, your app, make sure that you're all taken care of. But it was a great night. It really, really was. And I'm really happy for y'all's success and well-dressed home as well. We look forward to seeing more of what you bring to the staging industry in the future. And thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Shell. This was awesome.
All right. For everybody else, happy staging. Bye.